Good evening. I'm Andrea Martin. I'm your judge of the 304th District Court. When I ran for office in 2014, I ran on the promise that I was going to protect our children and keep our children and our families safe. I kept that promise by first, when I took the bench, I started looking at what needs to be done. I brought some innovation to the court. I was a baby prosecutor over in the juvenile courts, and I recognized how justice sometimes was delayed. So, because we were doing the same things over and over and over again from the time I started in 2000 to when I took the bench in 2015. First thing I did, I started appointing attorneys for parents immediately when their children were removed. I deal with kids who their parents have been accused of abuse and neglect. So what happens is the prosecutor, as she talked about, will come in and file papers to remove the children. I started appointing attorneys because think about it, we're dealing with people who are poor, who can't afford attorneys. So what happens? They're sometimes railroaded by the state. My son is right there. I understand the thoughts of how I would feel if my child was taken away. So to even the playing field, I started appointing attorneys right away. And what happened? Cases got resolved faster. We got families, kids out of foster care and families who love them. In addition, I started a youthful offender diversion court. You follow me on Facebook, you hear me talk about it all the time. We had another graduation last Wednesday. I've had 96 kids who graduated from my program and 0 have reoffended, which means we're doing the hard work in the 304th District Court, protecting children, preserving families. Additionally, with kids who age out of foster care, statistics show that what happens is in 3 years, they're either on the streets, on drugs, or unemployed. So I've partnered with the AFL-CIO in getting them jobs. So I'm asking for your support. I'm Andrea Martin, your judge in the 304th District Court. Thank you.
First, let me say thank you for inviting me. This is the best my voice gets. I'm Laditra Atkins, and I'm running for the 304th. I think Judge Birmingham told you all that the 304th is a juvenile court, so that's juvenile delinquency cases and CPS cases. I've been practicing law for the last 17 years. The majority of that time I have dedicated my practice to the protection of children and families in Dallas County. I have decided to run for a few reasons, and I'm just going to keep it really short. If CPS comes into your life and they take your child, I believe you have an unconditional right to fight them. So you have an unconditional right to have a hearing, okay? No condition should be put on it. No matter what they say you did on TV, no matter what they say, you get to fight for your child. I believe that if your child is arrested and you want to have a hearing, you get to have that hearing before the district judge or the associate judge. It's your right. And I guess above all things, I believe that no matter what has happened in your life that has brought you to the juvenile court, you deserve to be treated with dignity and respect.
Looking at the Dallas County Juvenile Department numbers, what do you believe to be the root causes for the high numbers of juvenile offenders? What changes can the court system make to reduce those numbers?
I would say I absolutely agree with her first. We absolutely need to make sure people are treated with respect and get hearings. And I've had over 1,000 hearings each year since I've taken the bench because that's what I'm doing, making sure that each one of you has your right for justice. And she's kind of confused about the way it works in the juvenile court. We have split the docket. That's my associate judge right there. We hear juvenile delinquency cases. They have a right to come before me if they want to. They choose to go before her so they can get their cases moved quickly. Now, regarding the number of cases that we're having, there's been an extreme spike in cases lately, as you've seen on the news. What we're doing now is we're looking at that. We have professionals in the juvenile department who are dealing with that. We're looking at what services, in addition to what we've already offered, that we need to apply to that. In addition, we have a policy in the juvenile court that we want to make sure that we rehab and not criminalize children because these are all our children. Thank you.
I'm sorry. What do you believe to be the root causes of the high number of juveniles?
Gosh, I would imagine we can attribute some of it to the lack of parenting, the lack of dads in the house, the lack of moms in the house, just society in general, that things happen and kids somehow fall into the wrong crowd. What I think that the juvenile department needs to do is to continue with the divert course that they have. I think that some of them should be implemented differently, but if we can divert kids out of this system, we should do it.
Please describe a situation in which you took a controversial position that angered or offended people, and please explain how you handled that.
I'll give you two. I think she means professionally, but I'll say the first one is probably standing here today, okay? Because it takes a lot to stand up, and it takes a lot to run against an incumbent, okay? So that's the first thing. Sometimes it has been popular and unpopular, depending on who you ask. Secondly, gosh, I stay in trouble, guys. I'm always the person who is challenging people to do things the way, I don't want to say the way I think is right, but if one of my colleagues is doing something, particularly with parents and kids, that's kind of my baby, that's my passion, I'm like, come on guys, let's fight. Because what's the harm in fighting? They all have nothing to lose. CBS already took their kids.
I agree with her when it comes to the diversion courts. What you may not know is we have several of them in the juvenile court, in the courthouse, and we have been recognized nationally for what we're already doing. And my court has been recognized as well because I have the best stats of my youthful offender diversion court in Dallas County. Now, when it comes to making people angry, that's my job as a district court judge. I have to take those hits because I'm dealing with the most important thing that someone has, and that's their babies. The only thing that we as Americans really have control over is our children. And so when they come in front of me, whether it's on the criminal side or whether it's on the CPS side, I have to make the decisions that are not always popular. But that's my job, and I understand it, and I'm willing to do it for the sake of our children. Thank you.
All right, we'll turn it over to the community. Question?
How y'all doing? As a criminal justice major, just honest question. What's y'all's stance on DACA?
Can I add to that just to make it go with family court? I'll say children, undocumented DACA children.
Thank you for that question. Very important issue, especially what's going on in our country right now. We have special statuses of children where we actually have attorneys who come and file paperwork so we can make sure that they can have a chance to stay in the country. So that is, I work very closely with the council, the Mexican council. In addition, I have attorneys who are on staff who volunteer their time to do immigration work. In addition, I partner with clinics at SMU and community programs to make sure that if there's an issue regarding DACA and protecting the child, that we're going to do all we can to protect that child. Thank you.
Again, I'm going to keep it really simple. DACA, I believe that any kid that came here with their parent should have a path to citizenship. I even believe the parents should have a path to citizenship.
Hi, I believe that as a judge, you're held to a higher standard. And so we expect things. And when we expect things and we vote for you and you don't deliver, I feel like that's a sign of disrespect. And for me, I'm posing for both of you guys. Andrea, it was brought in Commissioner's Court that you were on the bench a lot the first couple of years that you were in office.
I need a question.
So I want to know, what are you going to be doing different than what you're doing now? And also, for Ladidra, with the mistakes, or if you see something that she's done, what are you going to do to make it better?
Thank you.
You know, that's funny you brought that out. My opponent put that on her Facebook page, and you could hear her giggling behind there. What's the truth is, if you look at my numbers, you know I'm on the bench. I'm on the bench every day by 8:15. There's attorneys in my court who know that. Whenever there's a docket in my court, I'm there. If I wasn't there, then the Dallas Morning News reporter who she tried to sick on me would have been able to write a story about that. So what I would do different is nothing. I'm going to make sure that I continue protecting our children, to continue preserving our families, and do what's right for our children in Dallas County. Thank you.
I've been working since I was 14. I don't have an issue coming to work. So I will come to work the hours that Dallas County is paying me for the state of Texas. So I'll be there in the morning until the afternoon. Because what you need to know about the juvenile court is that it consists of emergencies. So you need to be at work.
My question has to do with temperament. So we keep hearing about I have judicial temperament and things like that in these races. And Judge just referred to the Dallas Morning News article, which actually I believe Judge was endorsed. So congratulations in that particular article. But it also specifically kind of said something about your temperament and kind of being, I guess, cautious because you're starting to get a reputation. So my question is, what is your judicial temperament, and what is your plan to make sure that attorneys, families, whomever feel as if they are in a court with a judge that actually has good judicial temperament?
Well, I've never been on the bench, but I believe that I'm gonna have good temperament. What I can tell you is that the whole point of me running is so that people could get a fair process. That's the whole point, because I believe in the process. So then for me to turn around and get on the bench and do you the same way that I believe that she treats people would just be wrong. And so that's the whole point of me running, is to treat people with dignity and respect.
First of all, if that was an issue with temperament, I'm gonna talk to y'all plainly. We have black skins, we pay a black tax. What that means is if I was doing half the things she's trying to say you do for the purpose of running for my job, it would be on video. She would have a ticker tape parade showing everything that was done. The Dallas Morning News talks about, it actually says I'm getting a reputation. Because again, when it comes to dealing with our kids, it's hard decisions I make. And people are gonna be angry about it. Now, regarding coming to work, I have a transcript that talks about who comes to work and who protects their children. And y'all can go ahead and pass that around. The rules of the Family Code says when you represent children, you're supposed to go and see the children. You're supposed to file reports. That's not being done. I have done everything you've asked me to do, and I'm gonna keep doing what you asked me to do because I know that when it comes to Dallas County's children, you can't get any better than me. I am your judge, Andrea Martin, 304 District Court, and I'm asking for your support. Thank you.
This question is for Judge Martin. I would like to know why do you make dads that have signed AOPs that's notarized and certified by the state of Texas, certified to be the biological father? Why do you order paternity tests?
That's actually not true. If they come to court and ask for a paternity test, and I'll give it to them, because I believe that sometimes when you're in the hospital room as a dad and you have mama looking at you and grandmother looking at you, then you might sign that paper. And then when the dads come to court, they want to have that DNA testing done. Because the AOP, then you have to have a judge sign in order to do the paternity testing. So if they ask for it, I'll do the DNA testing, because I think that every child needs to know who their father is. What you said is not a correct statement. I am not making anyone taking a DNA test because y'all have to pay for that. And I'm responsible for the budget of Dallas County citizens. But I believe that every father and every child should know who their parents are. Thank you.
Okay. The law in the state of Texas says that if you have a signed AOP, sir, you're the dad.
Right.
And that's the law.
Closing remarks.
Okay. First of all, again, I'm Liddy Trackers, and I'm running for the 304. And before I get into all this, I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking each and every one of you for your vote. I think there's a transcript being passed around, and I just will say this. In 17 years, I have practiced law, and I believe that I have practiced with integrity, and I have an impeccable work ethic. So Google me tonight. Read whatever you want to read, but Google me. Because if you don't see your kids, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, somebody's going to call you out for it. Okay? But you got to remember, she got a best friend, and her best friend said, let me help you out on Monday Night Politics. Let me kick you off this case. And that's what she did. So let me show you just little things I got. I got some pictures. This is the 304. This is the picture of the 304th. This is the court reporter's office. So guys, I got a work ethic. and I don't need a bed in my office.
That's the court reporter though.
It's the court report.
Not the judge.
And this is a picture of, this is a family taking care of their personal business, and everything in the juvenile court is personal. And Judge Martin has her son on the bench. If y'all think that's right, then you just think it's right. I think it's wrong. Thank you.
First of all, that is the court reporter. I'm not sleeping on court, but I have a picture I can show you of her sleeping on court if y'all want to see it.
Let's see.
I am in court every day doing my job, and I bring my child to work like a lot of you do. That's what we do as parents, and it also gives a chance for him to learn and grow. She's brought her child to court too. Hey, it's okay. But it's funny how when you're running for office, when it's about a promotion versus a purpose, you fall down and do these dirty things. I have a record I can stand on, and I'm proud of it. And I have done what I promised to do for you and for our children since 2014. I'm asking that you do what you did in 2014 and go march with me to the polls. March for Martin. Keep me in office, protecting our children and preserving our family, because I believe that Dallas County deserves the best, and I am the best for Dallas County's children. Thank you.
All right, Judge. Show that picture, Judge.